In this video, I'm going to share on a simple automation where if a student or parent signs up for a simple trial lesson, it will do two things. Number one, it will send an email to you and also create a Google Calendar so the students and the parents know when it is happening. And also, you will receive an email of the trial lessons that's upcoming, and also you will also receive the details of the students or parents name, phone number and email. So let's get started. So first you need to go to airtable.com, so you can click on sign in, and you can either create an account if you don't have an Airtable account, or you can just continue with Google. Once inside your Airtable, if you don't have a workspace, you can create a workspace and then you can build an app. So it will look something like this. So what you need to do is to click on all workspace with this plus button over here. And then you can name your workspace as your tuition center. So I'm going to call this Harris's tuition. The next thing is to create your table, right? So, or we call it the basis. So let's click on create, and then this will have two options. So I would recommend you to click start from scratch. Once that's done, then let's name this simple base, or it's like a Google sheet, and then we can call this as operations. And then you can change your different colors. So I'm going to change it to maybe blue. Then you can change your icon as well. So let's click on this icon over here. And this is the default view of your Airtable base. So let's close this. So the next part is for us to change this table name to, for example, trial classes. And once you save this, the next part is for us to change the different columns over here. So to rename a column, double click on the column name, and then you see that there is this option. So for this, let's put first name, and we're gonna change our type to single line text. So this is already by default, so you can click save. So the next part is for us to delete all of these different columns. So what you need to do is to right click and then click on delete field. So do the same with the other two, and this will then make us have this kind of view. So you have your first name. Second thing is, let's create another field called last name, and then you'll see that there is this single line text. Click on this, and then it will say default. We can leave this as is. Let's click on create field. So you have your first name and your last name. So usually you will have two other fields that you need. So in the example earlier, we have an email. So let's type in email and click on the find field type after you typing this, and then type in email over here. So once done, click on this, and then let's create a field. And last one, you have your phone number. So you can type in phone number. So in Airtable, there is also phone number type, but generally I don't use it because it auto formats, which doesn't really look great. So I'm just gonna put as single line text as what you see over here, and then create a field. And there you go. So this is a simple table that you have created. Then next part is for you to, generally I tend to just like to delete all of the different rows that you see over here. So I'll just leave one row. So I right click on one of the cells, so you can highlight, right click, and then you see delete class. So essentially all the rows you see here is named after what you have named the table. So in this trial classes table, each row represent a class. So let's delete the class, and then let's delete another class, leaving us with one row. And then this is where we will put in the dummy data. So type in Haris for your first name, and then for the last name, I'm just gonna put my last name, Samingan. Put the email address at EduGrow, and then my phone number over here. So I'm just gonna put dummy phone number 888-9999. That's what you see over here. So this is the dummy data that we're going to use, which is very important because this is how we're going to create our automations and our forms. So in Airtable, there is a lot of good features. One of it is the forms, which I think is pretty good. So click on forms, and you see there is this view over here. So let's click on plus new form, and you see that we are using this new trial class over here. So this form, it says here new trial classes. So maybe you can type in maybe math trial lesson, right? So you can rename it to anything you want. So in this example, you're going to name it math trial lesson. So let's create form, and it will look something like this. So the next part is you can add a description as what you see over here. So the description, you can put it as anything you want. So in this case, let's say happening on 8th January 2025, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. at Harris Avenue. So the next part is to make all of our different fields over here to be compulsory or required so that you get all of the different data that you need for you to contact the person for the upcoming math trial lesson in this case. So what you need to do is click on the first name, and then you see on the bottom right hand side, there is this rules. So click on required field over here. Do the same for the last name and also the email and also the phone number as what you see over here. Once this is done, the next part is to publish our form. So let's click on publish form at the top right over here, and this basically publish it on the World Wide Web. Now you need to also change the access to this form option over here. So if I were to open a new tab, then it will show that I need to sign in, which is not what we want. So what we want is to anyone in the web that can actually access our form. So if I were to go to a new tab and go to add table, then this shows me the form that I've created. Once this is done, then the next part is we are going to click on edit. So at the top left, there is this edit over here. And the next part is we go to our automations over here. So this is where we can create our own automation, and it's already integrated inside Airtable. So what you need to do is to create our first automation. We want to listen or have the trigger when a form is submitted. So it's the second option, or if you were to click on add trigger, it is the second option. So let's click on when a form is submitted, and then you see there is a select a table over here. So click on select table, and you see that it is the trial classes table that we have created. The next one is select a form, and we have our form over here. So the math trial lesson form. And now we need to test this. We have two options, use suggested record and choose the record. So choose a record is recommended because you can choose the record or data that you want to play with. This use suggested record actually picks a record that is random. Once this is done, usually what I'll do is also to name our automation. So we will say when trial lesson submitted, then send notification. So this gives you a good idea of what this automation does. So the next part is we want to send an email. So we click on add advanced logic over here. So you see that there's this send email by Airtable, but usually I don't do this because this is only used for notifications from my experience. I will not recommend you to use send email from Airtable because this only can send up to over 100 unique emails. So what if you need more than 100 unique emails? This does not work. So always use Gmail because this allows you to send email to the student or even the parents. So with the Gmail send email, click on send email over here. And then after that, there is the configuration section. So the first thing is to select an account. So you might not have connected to your Gmail account. So what you need to do is connect new Gmail account and then just choose the Gmail account that you want to get connected. So once it's connected, then you see there's this Gmail account created for you. So click on Gmail account. The next thing is to go and send your email to the email from the form over here. So click on this two, and then after that, click on plus, and then you see that there is this email over here. The next part is there is this subject. So in the subject, you can say congratulations on sign up for math trial lesson, or you can put any other subject as well. The last part is the message. So the message is where you want to tell the student or parent, this is the details of the math trial lesson. So you can say, hey, space, and then plus, and then this plus allows you to choose the data from the form as what you see over here. So it says here first name. So let's click on first name as what you see over here. So the message will look something like this, where you thank them for signing up for the trial lesson and the details and many more, right? So let's test this step. So you can scroll down and then you can actually generate a preview. So the preview will change the first name as what you see over here to the name in the form that you have created. So you can also choose this option, run as configured, and this will actually run the test and actually send the email to the record that you have selected. So the record you have selected over here, if you were to go to the field values, it will send to the email that you have selected. So please choose your record very, very carefully. So usually that's why I put a dummy record. So you can click on run test, and then this will actually send a email to the person, Haris at EduGrow, with this email. So let us check in our email to see whether this actually works. And there you go, it actually works. So I actually send it to myself, but it works. The next step is to add a calendar invite. So click on add advanced logic or action, scroll all the way down, and you see Google Calendar create event. So calendar invites are important because this makes the person know when the event is coming, and the phone or email will actually notify if there is an event upcoming. All right, same thing. So scroll up. If you will scroll down on the right section over here, then you need to choose your calendar account. So if you have not connected your Google Calendar account, then what you can do is you can go and connect new Google Calendar account, and then choose your Google account. So once it's connected, then you see this Google Calendar account here. Click on it. Then it says here calendar. So you can choose the calendar in your Google Calendar account. So you probably choose maybe the one that you have created. So in this case, it's my EduGrow-Haris. And then add in the date. So the date is 8th of January, which is tomorrow. And this starts at 12 p.m. And this ends at 1 p.m. So you can put in the title and the description as well. So you can add in your title, like in this case, math trial lesson, and then say thank you for signing up the trial lesson. Here are the details. That's what you see over here. And then don't forget to add the attendees. So the attendees, click on the plus over here, and then put in the email of the form as what you see over here. All right, so now you can test the action, and this will actually send a Google Calendar event to your email that you have added inside the attendees. So let's go to our Google Calendar, and you could see that the math trial lesson has been added. So let's click on it, and you see the different description has been created. So once this is tested and everything has been tested over here, so what you can do is to switch on your automation, and now this is active. So now you can try and fill out the form. So let's go to forms over here, and then let's click on share form, click on copy link. Okay, and then let's go to the add table over here and type in the details. So before we test, let's remove this math trial lesson Google Calendar event over here. And now once you have added all of the details for your math trial lesson form, click on submit. So once this has been submitted, you can check in the Google Calendar that it has been submitted, which is great. And then at the same time, you can check in your mail inbox to see if it has been added. And then at the same time, inside your add table over here, you see that there is this automation history. So click on it. So recently I just added today at 1:10 p.m. And then you can see that all of this has been successful, which is great. So some bonuses for you is that in your forms over here, so let's click on the title over here. So inside the message, you will want to say something along the lines of check your email or spam on the details of the trial class. We also send a Google Calendar event. So this allows you to tell the person who has signed up for a trial lesson to know that there is an email, and also there's a Google Calendar event. Then lastly, there is this thing called email responses. So this allows you to know who has signed up for your form recently. And once you put the email collaborator, it will look something like this. And this gives you a good notification on who submitted, what's the phone number, and the email. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want more of this kind of videos, subscribe down below and comment down what are the other automations that you're interested to do. That's it. Stay safe and all the best. Bye bye.